from the top of Ireland and the land of Tyrconnell. You're very welcome to this week's edition of the Connect system. And today I'm very excited to share with you that we're talking about the owl persona. So that's just a great one to know because it's very misunderstood most of the time, and people don't really know how to relate to a person that's this way, but you see them in life quite a bit depending on where you're at, because 23% of people in the population are thinkers and 10% of people are owls, so use the owl persona as the way they prefer to communicate. So we'll just get right into it now. The owl persona is part of the Connect system, and if you've been watching these videos all along, this is number 7 in the series and of the Sona Sásta system. The Connect system is part of the Sona Sásta system, and so that's really exciting. Now, I've talked about this before, but communication is very important in the workplace, and it's the main cause. Miscommunication is the main cause of workplace failures. 28%, 86% of failures, 28% of delays, and 97% on a daily basis. It affects work. It costs companies that have an average of 100 employees, an average of $420,000 per year in extra expenses and costs that were unnecessary. And worldwide, it affects people, companies at $37 billion is the cost of it. So miscommunication is important to avoid, and it's a major cost and drain to businesses and people in their everyday life. Now, there are 3 types of people in the world, according to the Connect system: the actors, 32%, feelers, 45%, and thinkers, 23%. Today, we're talking about the thinkers. Now, the 7 personas are the horse persona and the beaver persona. Those are the actors. The otter persona and the collie persona, those are the feelers. And the thinkers are the lion, the eagle, and the owl persona. Today we're talking about the owl persona, so complete the 7 today. And the owl persona, that's exciting. All right, so how do you connect with people? Again, everyone has all 7 personas, like a set of masks. And the one on front is the one you see the most. That's the one they prefer to use most of the time in most situations. People tend to prefer one or two as far as others. We've been watching a telly show that's on the reruns. It's called The Treehouse Guy with Pete Nelson. And he's definitely an otter and a beaver, otter-beaver personas. And so it's beaver, otter, otter-beaver persona, and then probably collie after that. And, it's just fun to watch him. So anyway, no persona is any better than any other. The key to connecting is you go through the filter to meet the need, and then you connect. So the hidden question is the filter, and the hidden need from others is the need. So you just connect by going through both of those. You go through the filter to meet the need, and then you have a connection. So now, the 3 types of people we're talking about: the thinkers, 23% of the population are thinkers, the people who approach life through thinking first and communicate through thinking first. It's a cognitive motivation. And the owl persona, more than any of the other 2, and any of the other 6 for that matter, is going to be the thinker first. They're going to think. They're the epitome, the stereotype of a thinker. And they're going to think first. So like this thinking statue, they're going to be the thinker. The one that I like to talk about is like Spock from Star Trek, either the new one or the old one. You think of him as a cognitive thinker first. So they're going to think first and then feel or act or feel. So anyway, now the owl personas, there's 10%. 10% of people are the owl personas. So that's a mistake here. Natural researchers. They're natural researchers. They love to research things, find out what it is. They love to learn and know things. They're intelligence oriented. So if you want to impress somebody like this, you just show off your intelligence. That's all you got to do. And if you don't have real intelligence, if you're just faking it, they'll see right through it and they'll laugh at you. So you might get a little smirk or smile out of them with it. But they love to know And the question here, now this is unusual because the question here is, am I really interested in this? That's the hidden question. So have you ever been selling to somebody, telling them about your product and everything, and you're getting down to the good part of, okay, now don't you just want to buy all this up, and how can we make the sale today? What can I do to get you to buy today? You look up and they've already walked off. You lost them. Like, where'd they go? Like, weren't they paying attention? Don't they really care? You're giving your big spiel and all this, and they've already walked off. Well, that's because the hidden question, am I really interested in this? They're going to be the ones that actually give you the Irish goodbye and just turn around and you look up and they're gone. Where'd they go? And I've actually had that happen. I've been selling to somebody, and if I didn't know that they were an owl persona, and I didn't realize it totally until, I'm telling them about the products and things, what I was selling at the time. I was a wee lass at the time, and they just turned around and walked off, and I started like, wait a minute, like, I was talking to you, I wasn't finished, but then I realized, oh, that's the owl persona, and he wasn't interested. So there we go, move on, shake it off and move on, right? Well, so now the hidden need that they need is undivided attention or personal space. So here, while he was listening, I'm telling him the product, while he's listening, I have his undivided attention. But as soon as in his mind, he's not interested anymore, he walked off. He needed that space. So there you go. Another example of this is my oldest daughter. She was the owl persona, big time. Like, she could tell if you'd been in her room because the air had moved, like that kind of a person. So she was real cognitive, but also very neat and tidy, organized. Once she learned to do that, because I had to teach her before that, she was really messy. But anyway, so now, when she was little, we were doing a family game time in the game room, and in the sitting room there, and we look up and Anya Mara's gone. So where'd Anya Mara go? It's like, where'd she go? And so you yell at, hey, Anya Mara, Kawiltu, and she's Tame Anshama Shomra. Right? So where are you? Where are you? And she says, I'm in here in my room. I was like, and you could get offended. You could say, no, wait a minute. This is family time. You should be in here, and make her come in there and play the game or whatever we were doing. But I realized that she needed that personal space. She wasn't interested in what we were doing at the moment. Sometimes she would be, sometimes she wouldn't. So you're like, okay, so I give her that personal space, and she can go play in her room by herself. Or she said, by all herself. So anyway, so now these thinkers, they're 10% of the population, the owl personas, 10% of the population. They're natural resources, they're intelligence oriented, and they're very loyal. So once that you get their attention and you show that you have intelligence, or that they're interested in what you have to offer, they'll be very loyal to you and your product, or as a person. They'll be real loyal to you as a friend. They don't really have a lot of friends, but the ones that they do, they're very loyal to them. So if you make it in their inner circle there, like maybe Sheldon on Big Bang Theory or something, although he had other issues besides just being an owl persona. So, but if you just think of the cognitive qualities of him without the emotional things, then he could also be an owl persona. But anyway, loyalty, they're very loyal, they're very philosophical, and they're very inquisitive. If they're interested, they'll study it to the nth degree there. Like maybe they might be interested in model rockets and stuff, and they'll study rockets to the point of actually getting a degree in it if they're that interested in it. So their major attributes are that they can be content with what they have. They'll sit in their room and read or watch the videos or play video games or watch, films, documentaries, whatever they're interested in, content. They have a determination to finish it, but they also have a deference. They might actually be a high IQ person. These people, the 10% of people that have owl persona as their first persona, the highest one, then they tend to have a higher IQ. So they might be in Mensa, or in any of the other high IQ groups, maybe the ones above Mensa. But they won't tell you. They might know everything. There's almost everything that there's to know about whatever the conversation at the party or at the group is, but they won't say anything. They just laugh at the person that thinks they know everything, and then they realize that he doesn't know anything, or that person doesn't know anything about what it is that they're talking about. you know and sometimes if it's real important, they might come out and say, excuse me, but you're wrong, that's not it, if it's something that needs to be corrected. So anyway, sometimes that's it, but they're really great to have around. Now, if you're selling to these people, you need to realize you need to capture their attention, right? So you need to find out what they're interested in, because see, all the other questions, all the other hidden questions for all the other personas are are you managing your resources, or what's your motive, or why are you doing this, why are you doing this, or do you really care, or are we connecting, right? That kind of thing. But on this one, the question is, am I interested in it? So what you do or not, it doesn't matter, because it's this person's interest. So you have to get their interest. So attention grabbers don't always work. Big spiels don't always work, but maybe you can get their attention with intelligence oriented, a cognitive kind of approach to things. So that's, anyway, you want to capture their attention. They like their personal space. So, like, for example, my daughter is she needs her personal space, but when she wants your attention, you got to put everything down and give her that one-on-one quality attention. We had a client who was working, her first persona was the otter persona. And so that's a verbal persona. They like a lot of verbal feedback and praise. They want to make sure that we're connecting. And how do they do that? With that feedback. But her boss was an owl persona, and she was about ready to quit her job after 12 years. And really thought that the issue was had to do with gender and racial discrimination, because her boss was one race and she was another, and he was a male and she was a female. And so she was thinking it was all this stuff, and was actually going to report it to the human resources and leave, because she was really frustrated. And so she found out about the Connect system. And so she didn't really think it was too great, because being in human resources, they hear a lot of different tests and different things that and we said, well, you know what, this, you might think that's just another whatever, but look, give it a go. And here's what, if you just tell us a little bit of the trouble that you're having, maybe we'll give you some ideas. So we gave her some ideas. We said, here's the thing, is when you go at the end of the day and you want to give that report at the end of the day, fill it, type it up on a sheet of paper, and have it ready to give him. And at the end of the day, you stand at the door to his office if it's open, and wait to be recognized or invited in. Don't come into that personal space in the office. Wait to be invited in. And if the door is shut, just slide that sheet under the door, and there you go. You gave your report for the day. But if you come in and you stand in front of the desk and you say, here's today's report, would you like me to go over it for you? Highlights, and yes or no. If it's yes, give them the highlights, bullet points. Don't give some big spiel, and don't go into feelings and issues and all that kind of stuff. Just the bullet points, important things, and then leave the rest on the sheet of paper. And so she said, I'm so desperate, I'll give it a go, but I don't think it'll do any good. And I'll tell you what, within the week, she rang us back and she says, you know what? I got my first compliment in 12 years, and we're actually getting on. I was like, so it wasn't a gender issue, it wasn't a racial issue, it was just a miscommunication issue. How much does miscommunication affect people on a daily basis in the workplace? 97% of the time. Here we have an example where you're about ready to lose the department subhead of the whole department was ready to quit because of this miscommunication issue. So that's all it was. So anyway, now if you're selling, again, if you're selling to a owl persona, remember that personal space. So stand further back than you normally would when you're talking to somebody, and give them your undivided attention and make it intellectual. They value knowledge and want all the information up front so they can make a decision, an informed decision. Don't give some big spiel about all this and that and this and that, and then, like funnel them down to the sale. No, you give them all the information and give them documents and all that, and then leave it up to them to make the decision. And it may take time. So if you're a pushy person and you say, look, here's a time limit and we need the decision right now, you're not going to sell to this kind of person, because they need to think about it. They might take 2 or 3 days to think about it. And if you give them a time limit for that, they'd rather miss the benefits of whatever you have to offer than to be pushed into making a decision. So they don't like pushy salespeople or salesy kind of people. They don't like time limits. They prefer time to think things over and decide and make an educated, logical decision. So they're not going to make decisions based on emotions or feelings. So the kiss for this is Kiwi. Keep it very interesting. So you could even go, keep it very interesting and informative. So that's how you sell to a owl persona. And like I said before, these personas work in any relationship, in any situation. They don't have to be sales, but we're just doing this for the sales thing now, so that we can, do it for talking about sales, using the Connect system for sales, but it can apply to any situation. So like I said, just go to freedomsearcher.com, scroll down to the bottom and fill out the form for the free resources, and you'll have access to all the workbooks and all of the free resources that we have to offer at the time right now. And each of these personas have a workbook for these video presentations. So, hey, Saoirse here again. I want to thank you for watching the video today and for taking the 15 minutes to watch it. And I would really like to connect with you in person, so or at least on a Zoom call. So if you'd like to get on a Zoom call with me and see how I can help you in your business or your relationships with the Connect system, just direct message me below, or put a comment in there, say I want to get together with you, and we'll work with direct message there on Facebook. Or just go to freedomsearcher.com and fill out the form, the contact form. Or you can email me directly at info@freedomsearcher.com. So again, thank you for watching and have a splendid week. Though Shaniga Full.